Hey gang, welcome to Tantrum House. I'm Will.
And I'm Ryan, and today we're reviewing Headhunters from Gutshot Games.
Headhunters is a miniatures tabletop war game, except for it's biggie-sized.
In it, 2 to 4 players battle to the death using their super awesome headhunters.
Headhunters are plastic figurines that also store game components inside of their head. They work as your marker in the game, and they are like warriors that are sent into the arena to battle.
With the initial Kickstarter, there's plenty of unique characters, and then there's going to be some add-ons, some interesting stretch goals that they're trying to achieve, and then as the universe expands, they're going to be adding new characters with new cards that'll be released as things go on.
At the beginning of the game, players hand their terrain tiles to the first player, who shuffles them all up, deals them back, and then players lay them out on the table randomly or kind of strategically to build the initial battlefield. The first player then flips over all the cards to make sure that the orientation is correct, and then the game begins.
Each turn, a player will do a move action. They can move up to their speed, and then they can do 2 actions by playing cards, and then draw up to their hand limit.
Movement in the game is determined by your character's speed, but that actually changes throughout the game based on your character's health, and then the way you measure it out is you use the beaded string that comes in your character's head to determine how far along the game you can move.
Like any tabletop game, there's plenty of strategy into how and where you move your character. If you pass in front of another character, they get to do the swipe action for free, and depending on where you attack the other characters from, that angle, you may or may not have advantage, and it'll boost or lower your attack rating.
Attacks in the game are determined by the cards that you play and then the dice that you roll. You're also able to lay defense cards. All the cards are different from character to character, which is pretty cool, and they all seem really balanced so far, which is super nice.
If you're interested in more of the rules, we've put together a short playthrough video that we'll link to at the end of this video.
And I think that covers the basics of the game, so let's go ahead and talk about the mechanic. Tell us what you think about that.
Well, it's kind of a very basic tabletop combat game. I think it's a good gateway game because it doesn't overcomplicate things, but you do have that measuring string, which can sometimes be a little inaccurate. They do a good job of trying to hem in the inaccuracies and the disputes, but that's still there. So you just have to make sure that you all agree beforehand what you're going to decide on for dispute resolution. And the rulebook does go into that a little bit, and it's very helpful. Theme.
The theme, I think, is probably one of the strongest parts in the game. Like, they've just created a really novel concept with these collectible figures that have the pieces in them, and you play with them. It's just really cool. I'm looking forward to seeing what the packaging looks like. I think this is going to be a big thing on, local game shop stores where you come in and they've got them all lined up there. The artwork for it is really cool. Some things don't translate perfectly from the illustration to the character, but I think that's something you can overlook because there's so much consistency with them. The storyline is really simple, which is fun. The instruction manual actually is really well written and does explain a lot of the stuff. And I think overall, it's just a really fun theme that is going to be a really popular thing. Replayability.
I'm a really big fan of the miniatures tactical combat games, and this game really appeals to that love of mine. You will find that you have some of the same sort of strategies every time you play with certain cards, but that one-on-one tactical combat, or 1-on-3, or however many players you have, is something that I just very much enjoy, and I find it very replayable. Enjoyability.
So I'm actually not a miniatures fan normally, but I do think that the gateway appeal of this is pretty cool. It was easy to jump into. We played a quick game. We had some fun. I lost. It was all right. It's fun. It's really cool just to be able to play with the pieces and look through the artwork and get it all out on the table. I think that it is something that a lot of people are going to enjoy. And like I said, I think it's going to be on a lot of shelves for a lot of people to try out. So you should definitely give this a check on Kickstarter now.
Tantrum House gives Headhunters 2 thumbs up.
Hey gang, I'm Will. Nope.
I'm sorry.
The in it.
Sorry, it's been a long day.
Sorry.
Player character. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Example B.
What can I do to make it up to you?
Never apologize.